Yo, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is Flame, and welcome you guys all back to a brand new Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC video. Today, guys, I'm going to be covering everything that happened in the trailer that got released, of course, last night to everyone providing of what's going to happen in the Isle of Armor. I did my reaction to the trailer, which is getting a lot of feedback, and just thank you guys so much for all the love and positivity, especially me not uploading here to the channel. But if you guys are ready for Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Isle of Armor, that's going to be released on June 15th. Then here's the info right here. So I'm on a website that basically covers everything in the trailer. Don't worry, I'll provide screenshots up top of really what I'm talking about and everything like that. But basically all this information is just in the trailer. I'm just not going to go like in the trailer step by step and oh, it's this one and this one. It's much easier if I just do this. So I'm here on the, of course, the official Pokemon site. It's talking about everything that's going to be happening in the Isle of Armor, and it even gives us, of course, the Crown Tundra news as well. But one thing I want to talk about right here is the brand new Galarian Slowpoke, which is a type that is poison and psychic. I'm pretty sure that we all know about this, you know, especially with Galarian Slowpoke that, you know, got released. I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago, something like that, for people to actually grab and obtain. And if you want, you can even shiny hunt it if you want to. And it was a psychic, and we're kind of confused of what it was going to be. But knowing from Clara and from Avery that they are poison type users, we thought, oh, psychic and poison, that's going to be Slowbro there. So yeah, it's basically confirmed at that point. It has his height, his weight, and his ability is called Quick Draw right here. And it's really cool because what's awesome about it is that instead of the normal Slowpoke with the shell on its tail, it's on its arm, kind of like a harpoon here. So this shell side arm, a poison type move that may poison the target. This move inflicts either physical or special damage depending on which damage the target more. And that's kind of cool, right? Like, it's basically almost a one-shot guarantee that you're gonna poison a Pokemon, which is pretty awesome, right? Like, especially for Slowpoke, you know, he's not gonna be a fast type Pokemon, he's relatively slow, but you know, a moveset like that, man, if you could poison your target easy, that's pretty cool. A new thing, of course, that we got introduced in the trailers that we've known for a while right now is that there's going to be a Gigantamax Blastoise and a Gigantamax Venusaur in the game. We've seen a gameplay of what they look like, what their special moves are going to be, and all that other stuff at this point. And there's quite a bit of stuff to talk about these two as well. So first things first, let's talk about Gigantamax Venusaur. Of course, he's grass poison. His ability is called Overgrown right here, and his G-Max move is called Vine Lash. Lash that doesn't deal damage to an opponent when it hits. It will continue to deal damage for 4 turns for any Pokemon that isn't a grass type. This is basically like Gigantamax Wildfire with Charizard, and it's the same thing with Blastoise. His ability is Torrent, and his G-Max move is called Cannonade. It's the exact same thing. You know, for 4 turns, they'll target any Pokemon that isn't a water type Pokemon. Now, here's one thing I want to see right here, and it's kind of a lot of opinions, is when we saw in the trailer, we saw a Squirtle and a Bulbasaur right there. That basically confirms that one of these Pokemon, depending on what you grab, will be the Gigantamax Pokemon. And that's one thing, is that we'll not be able to acquire both of them. Like, if you go into the Isle of Armor, it's like, do you have a choice between Squirtle or Bulbasaur? And this might affect a lot of people that haven't made a second account right now. For me, it's not going to affect that much. Like, I think for my first ever playthrough, of course, I'm going to go with Squirtle into a Blastoise, and then for my second account, I'll just pick Bulbasaur that eventually lead to my Venusaur right here. But for one thing though, is for shiny hunters, right? Like, if this is a point in the game where it's like, oh, you have to choose between Squirtle or Bulbasaur just like any other game, does that mean you have to keep resetting the game until eventually you get that shiny Pokemon? That's a question that I really want to get answered throughout this, because that's the only thing we really got in the trailer is like, oh, hey, here's these 2 Pokemon, choose between what? And of course, when you choose the Pokemon, you can choose a nickname or whatever you want to be, and it'll eventually show up as a normal type Pokemon, or it could be a shiny. So that's a question that I definitely want in the future, because I definitely want like a shiny Gigantamax Blastoise or a shiny Gigantamax Venusaur. That'd be pretty cool. Like, I already have both shinies in the game, but I just don't have the Gigantamax version, right? So that's one thing that needs to be required. Or the other one could be the Gigantamax Soup, which I'll talk about you here in a little bit. Another thing going down below is the legendary Pokemon Urshifu's exclusive moves. This is the thing that a lot of people have been talking about Urshifu. You know, not just a Kubfu going to Urshifu, and you know, his Gigantamax style of between, you know, dark and fighting, or it's water and fighting. It's also his attack right here that's seriously OP. And for me, I'm not a competitive Pokemon guy. Like, I like to watch competitive Pokemon, but I'm not in the scene in general, so I can't really say too much about this. but if you guys are, just comment down below. I'll really love to learn more. But his best move right here is a rapid strike known as the Surge's Strikes. This move results in critical hits, allowing Urshifu to attack while ignoring the target's stat changes. Also, one thing is with the moves at direct contact, even if the target defends himself using moves like Protect. That is seriously OP and something that, I don't know, man, for competitive, like, that is freaking amazing, man. I could definitely see Urshifu being in some inventory for some people. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really too much into competitive when it comes to Pokemon, but that's seriously an OP move, man. Like, depending on what version of Urshifu you have, that is definitely OP. And I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people might not like that. I could definitely already see the hate coming throughout it, but I thought I would talk about that right there just in case anyone was wondering. One thing that we got within the trailer is the Crawlmatic. So, of course, you know, like that robot Cameron that we saw, of course, in the trailer. So it talks about a lot of what it actually does within the game. So the dojo on the Isle of Armor houses a unique take on the recycling in the form of a device called the Crawlmatic. If players feed it 4 items, it will combine them and give them a new item in exchange. Trainers can receive any of the variety items, including Pokeballs, PP-ups, and more. Some combinations might even produce rare items. I could definitely see videos talking about different combinations, like if you put maybe 2 good items and 2 piece of crap items and put them together, you might even get a so-called good item. I know a lot of people are going to say, is this another kind of tool to get a Master Ball kind of from? Because let's be honest right here, like, I don't know if Master Balls might even come to this, because if it is kind of a side of you need this item, this item, this item, and this item to get yourself a Master Ball, you're basically going to be feeding yourselves Master Balls. But at the exact same time, I see this just going towards the Crown Tundra when we eventually do the legendary raid battles and to catch the legendary Pokemon. You know, you're not going to be facing them over and over and over and over and over again, because you're not going to catch them in one fell swoop, right? Like, they're going to get out the Ultra Ball or the Repeat Ball or whatever you like, what you want to use, of course, against the legendary Pokemon. So with this, I don't know, man. It's going to be definitely weird. You know, a lot of people have been saying this about Apricorns as well. Apricorns is making its return. If you guys don't remember what those are, it was basically a thing in Gen 2 where you put berries together and it forms a unique, like, style of Pokeball, which I'm pretty sure Pokeguy or Pokeboy or whatever his name was will probably give you them, or the Crawlmatic will give them to you here. So, I don't know. It's very confusing, and I definitely have to wait until people make videos on it, or I'll make a video on it, or like gameplay style, and see how it works out. It's very confusing, but we'll definitely know a lot more information when we actually get hands-on with the Isle of Armor about it. Tutor moves right here, completely new tutor moves will be also available in the Isle of Armor. Trainers can have their Pokemon learn them in exchange for an Amorite Ore, a substance that could be found in the Isle of Armor through max raid battles and other means. This Amorite Ore was, you know, rumored or hinted or whatever, so it basically confirms it right here, which is going to be very interesting. So, of course, new tutor moves for Pokemon that goes into this. So, here's the thing that is really skeptical of me, and definitely another thing. So, how I talked about the Blastoise and the Venusaur, of how you have to require them both, and we already know that Gigantamax, Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon are coming to the game. And of course, like, if you have one account, you all want the Gigantamax Pokemon, especially if they're shiny, right? Like, if you shiny hunted one of these Pokemon and it can't be Gigantamax, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be pissed off about it. But the Max Soup right here is a very questionable thing that really interests me, and something that I think a lot of people need to look into as well. And it was even like a big thing in the trailer as well that was really shown, is that the Max Soup is a special made dish for rare ingredients you can gather on the Isle of Armor. If a Pokemon with great hidden potential drinks Max Soup, it will become a special Pokemon capable of Gigantamaxing. Some Pokemon that trainers are already traveling with will also gain the ability to Gigantamax. So this is the thing, is like, if you pick the Squirtle or Bulbasaur, are they maybe not Gigantamax yet and you can do it, or maybe you already have let's say a shiny Bulbasaur or a Squirtle already, and you could Gigantamax it just with the soup here, or with your, you know, Inteleon, Cinderace, or Rillaboom, maybe you're allowed to do this with the soup as well. And I know that there's going to be rumors and speculations that new Gigantamax Pokemon are going to be coming into the game here. So maybe when that gets officially released by Pokemon or Game Freak, or it's shown in a different trailer, or maybe when the game comes out and we get like maybe a little bit of information from Serapi, that you're allowed to, you know, choose this Pokemon, let them drink this soup, and they're able to Gigantamax. It's a huge thing, just like the Crawlmatic, that is really skeptical, and I think going to be something huge in this game if you really want to Gigantamax those Pokemons, and especially with the new hidden ability Pokemon that you can get right now, which I'll talk about just in a little bit. The Crown Tundra, this is a huge thing right now. I'm really surprised they actually showed the Crown Tundra within the trailer because we don't even have a full release of it yet. It still says fall of 2020. So of course it will be coming out within September, October, November, somewhere around there. This DLC to be available for everyone. And we got quite a bit of information. So a huge thing I think people could look towards here is the 2 new Regis, which is Regieleki and Regidrago. I'm not gonna lie, I really wish it was Regivolt instead of Regieleki. I'm not really a big fan of that name. And of course, Regidrago, which, I don't know, I think Regieleki, design-wise, it looks pretty cool. I think a lot of people are hating on Regidrago just because it's basically just kind of like a Charizard head and just a red ball. I don't really know. We'll just have to see, though, you know. I feel like Regidrago might surprise a lot of people and it might be OP. But we have the ability Transistor and Dragon's Maw, which we don't really know about these abilities here yet. But we know about their kind of special type moves here. So with Regieleki right here, the Electrified Cage will also cause damage every turn for 4 turns to 5 turns and prevents opponents from fleeing or being swapped out. So it's kind of a cool move that Regieleki has instead of like if you're facing an opponent and their Pokemon can't be swapped out. That could be really good for some battles. Also for Regidrago right here, within his ability, then fires intense dragon energy from its mouth. The more HP the user has remaining, the higher the move's power. So the more HP, if you're facing someone, it'll do a lot more damage to them. So that could be a really good move for Regidrago as well to make a comeback. Another big thing here, which I think is going to be really hinted towards the story of Pokemon the Crown Tundra. It's not just with Calyrex, it's also going to be with our 3 favorite legendary birds that got Galarian forms. So of course we have Galarian Articuno, Galarian Zapdos, and Galarian Moltres, and it's been confirmed as well of what their typings are. So Galarian Articuno, Psychic and Flying. That's basically a Lugia right there. I don't know. For me personally, I think Galarian Articuno looks badass. Out of the 3 birds, I personally like Zapdos better than the 3 originally. But Galarian Articuno takes the cake 100%. I love its design, Psychic and Flying. Its ability is competitive. The Freezing Glare, it's a Psychic type special move in which the Pokemon attacks by firing Psychic power from both eyes. This move also leaves the target frozen. So that's awesome, man. It's basically bringing the ice moves that we love from Articuno, but it's a Psychic type move that could potentially freeze your target. That's awesome. Zapdos here has been confirmed to be a fighting and flying type Pokemon, and his special signature move is called Thunderous Kick. It's a fighting type physical move that overwhelms the target with lightning-like movement before delivering a kick. This attack also lowers the target's defense stat, so that's really cool. It kind of reminds me of Extreme Speed a little bit. His ability is called Defiant. I don't know, man. Like Zapdos, I definitely feel like is my second favorite out of the 3 so far. And I don't know, it reminds me of Extreme Speed, but just a fighting type move to it. And then we have Galarian Moltres, which is a dark and flying type Pokemon. Its signature move is called Fury Wrath. It's a dark type special move in which the Pokemon transfers its wrath into a fire-like aura to attack. It may also make opposing target flinch. That's really cool. So I like a lot of these abilities here, right? So with Articuno's, if you use Freezing Glare, it could freeze your opponent. With Thunderous Kick from Zapdos, lower like a Pokemon's defense stat. And with Moltres, with its Fiery Wraith attack, it can make a Pokemon flinch. So that's 3 good moves. I think like the best one, like I say, is Articuno, man. I think Articuno is just a lot more better than other people so far. We got, of course, new characters introduced. You know, we have Chlora, we have Avery, and a whole bunch of other people, like even Mustard, to still be introduced. But I feel like you really have to play the game before you really understand if you read from articles or the trailers about characters in the game. We have, of course, the Dynamax Adventure. This is like if you're doing the legendary battles from people, which that's another thing that's probably going to be answered down the road before the Crown Tundra even comes out. And I really pray to God that #1, when you do these legendary raids with people, if you can catch the Pokemon, and also if you could shiny hunt them. I don't know, man. If it's not and they're shiny locked, I'll be really pissed off about that. And that gives me another thing as well, is that for Cubfu, this new legendary Pokemon you're going to acquire that goes to Urshifu, is it going to be shiny locked or not? I really hope they give us that information before June 17th, because I want a shiny Cubfu, man. Like right when I get into the game, I want to shiny hunt it, and hopefully that could be a thing. But knowing Game Freak and Pokemon and all this other stuff, man, it's probably going to be shiny locked. But I will make a video on that just in case if it could be shiny locked or not, because I know a lot of people will probably want to do that and probably hunt it down, because I think at this point we're all done the Pokedex, and we'll really want to hunt those Pokemon. Another thing here that just got announced is that you can now get the hidden ability Pokemon starters for Sword and Shield. I think a lot of people look at this between Scorbunny, his hidden ability, Libero, because that is OP. If any of you guys faced against Leon in the tower at Winden, you'll understand how OP Libero is on Scorbunny. I know that a lot of people are already shiny hunting the hidden ability Pokemon already. I know I'm going to be. And you can actually get them right now with Grookey with his hidden ability Grass Surge, Libero and Scorbunny, and Sniper for Sobble. So how you get these Pokemon, guys, is it's currently running right now from June 2nd to I have no idea what. You gotta require Pokemon Home right here. It says this: if trainers transfer one or more Pokemon from Pokemon Sword or Shield to the Nintendo Switch version of Pokemon Home, they'll be able to receive a Grookey, Scorbunny, and a Sobble with their hidden abilities as mystery gifts in a mobile device version of Pokemon Home. So yeah, you basically just put a Pokemon into Pokemon Home within Sword and Shield. You go on your phone, make sure to download it, Pokemon Home, and you also, of course, gotta link your Nintendo account with Pokemon Home right here. Don't forget that. And once you're on it, you simply go on the mystery gifts, you go on to mystery gift Home, and you'll see all three of those Pokemon there. You press yes on every single category for Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey, and they'll be transferred to a Pokemon Home box within, of course, Pokemon Home. And then if you're on the Switch version, you just drag those Pokemon to your Sword and Shield box, and bam, you have the 3 hidden ability starters from Sword and Shield, which I cannot wait to hunt Scorbunny down and give him Libero, because usually with Cinderace, my signature kind of name for him is Deku, but I'm definitely going to name him Nishinoya from Haiku after I get this man. Libero, Nishinoya, Cinderace. Yeah, I already know that. And also one other thing as well is that the Gigantamax Festival is live right now between June 1st to June 30th. So if you guys are trying to shiny hunt, or if you're still trying to get all the Gigantamax Pokemon within the game, you have until the 30th to acquire every single Gigantamax Pokemon. It's out right now on the Sword and Shield. So start hunting them, maybe go into raid battles, whatever it might be, and try to catch them all. I already have them all already. I'm just trying to get the shiny versions of them. And yeah, there you go. The Gigantamax Festival is up. It goes until the DLC as well, so you can even hunt them within the DLC if you want as well. And that's another thing. And one more thing I want to talk about that we've seen in this trailer is that even though that we're getting this whole new story and environment of the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, what old Pokemon are coming back? Because before all this, they've confirmed that over 200 Pokemon are going to be coming back to the DLC, especially the Isle of Armor right here. And, you know, in trailers, of course, we've seen a whole bunch of Pokemon making their return, such as like Magmar, Aggron, Luxray, Absol, and a whole bunch of other Pokemon. And since, you know, the Isle of Armor is right around the corner on June 17th, Serapi provided a list right here of all the Pokemon that are going to be available in the Isle of Armor, ready, set to go. And there's still a lot more Pokemon to be introduced here before the game releases, which is really cool. I'm glad they're not really showing off every other Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure they will do that by the time the game comes out here. So this is on Serapi right here. I'll have it down in the description below if you guys really want to check it out for yourselves. But of course, it shows right here, you know, Kubfu, Urshifu. You have, of course, your Gigantamax Pokemon that you could do. And here goes the whole list here. So, you know, we have Psyduck, Golduck, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath, Slowbro, Magnemite to Magneton. We also have Magnezone confirmed as well. Executor, Chansey, Tangela, Kangaskhan, Horsea, Seadra, Staryu, Starmie, Scyther, Tauros, Marill, Azumarill, Politoed, Scizor, Skarmory, Kingdra, Blissey, Wishmer, Loudred, Exploud, Azurill, Absol, Shinx to Luxray, which is awesome. I can't wait to get a shiny Luxray in my game. We have Happiny, you know, Magnezone, Tangrowth, Sandile, all the way to Crocodile. I love Crocodile. He's such a badass Pokemon. We have Zora to Zoroark. We have Emolga, you know, Mienfoo, Druddigon, which I can't wait. I love Druddigon shiny, and it's going to be an awesome to get. Larvesta to Volcarnon, which I'm really surprised they have them in the game. I haven't seen these guys since Gen 5, and I totally forgot about them anyway. But that's a nice pseudo legendary, of course, a hunt. Maybe shiny hunt, possibly. Never know. Fletchling to Talonflame. I love that Pokemon. You know, we have some Gen 6 Pokemon in here. You know, Dedenne, Rockruff, Lycanroc, and I have a little bit kind of confused of here because we don't have Dusk or Midnight Lycanroc in right here. We just have the standard Lycanroc, so Is Midnight or Dusk confirmed? Because that's going to be kind of sad, to be honest, that they don't have the other two versions of Lycanroc. But yeah, that's all the Pokemon that's been confirmed so far. That's going to be coming to the DLC. I'm pretty sure there's many more to come. I do believe so. I'm going to say 100%. If not, that might be a little disappointing. But how big like the Isle of Armor really is, there's definitely going to be a lot more Pokemon 100%. I don't think that this is all the Pokemon. But yeah, I have it down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Also, we have some new moves here as well called Jungling Healing, Wicked Blow, Surging Strikes, Burning Jealousy, Grassy Glide, and Shell Side Arm, which of course that's Slowbro signature move, or Galarian Slowbro signature move. And yeah, that's basically all the coverage right now for Pokemon Sword and Shield for the trailer that we seen yesterday. I just want to say thank you guys so much for all your love and positivity, of course, on the reaction, and hopefully this provided you guys a lot of information as well of what was in the trailer and all that kind of sorts of stuff. Guys, we're so close. As of now, we are 2 weeks away from this DLC launching worldwide on the Nintendo Switch for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Cannot wait just to play this game. It's going to be a fun experience. I can't wait to stream it and play it and share some Pokemon, and also to shiny hunt as well. And hopefully they do provide a little bit of shiny hunts in the upcoming days before this game actually comes out, because I'm a huge shiny hunting guy. And hopefully that could be a possibility. But if you guys all enjoyed this, make sure of course to leave a like, comment down below. What are you guys' thoughts and opinions? Are you excited for some of these old Pokemon returning? Are you excited for the new moveset or the storyline or whatever it might be for Sword and Shield? And like the video if you guys haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new as well, and also ring the notification bell of when I do go live or even post a video here on the channel. But either way guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys of course in the next video.